Welcome to the Midrash portion of today's reunion roadmap. This is Barry Phillips, along with my esteemed co-host David Jones from Florida. David, I hope you're doing well today.
Yes, sir. Sir, doing good and excited about what we're getting into.
What we're getting into, David, seems to be a symptom of these last days, and it's not that it should take us by surprise. Yeshua warned us in Matthew 24 that because of the increase of lawlessness, the love of many shall become cold. But then he says, he who shall have endured to the end shall be saved. Uh, we used to approach people in our, shall we say, evangelistic minded days of denominational living. We'd approach somebody at a grocery store, restaurant, the park, or something. Hey, brother, are you saved? Not realizing they would probably look back at us and say, saved from what?
Right.
So, are you saved? Well, he who endures to the end shall be. We're in that process of salvation taking full effect. And it requires some endurance on our part. And part of that is retaining heart condition. Now, I'm not talking about triglycerides and blood pressure, etc. We're talking about the status of your ability to love. There's no doubt, David, I think that in our current day that people's hearts have gotten hard. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
All right. So if hard heartedness betrays a lack of love, let's go to the Torah. What does the Torah say? It says here, Yeshua said, because of lawlessness. We often translate that as because of Torahlessness. People's hearts will become cold. If we walk according to the commands of the Torah, should we be walking in the warm fuzzies toward everybody and having a I just want to put my arms around everybody and love on them and feeling sweet and full of good fellowship. Is that automatic, or is love something else according to the Torah?
I don't know. I'm like, it's flashback. Everyone's having a '60s flashback all at the same time. the that's a good way to put it. Is there a way that the Torah tells us to do this? And I think, yeah. I mean, we're told if we love Yahweh, if we love Yeshua, we'll keep His commandments. But how does that translate to us loving one another? It's not like we're keeping each other's commandments. We're keeping Yahweh's commandments, right?
Okay, yeah.
But Yeshua says that if we love Him, we'll love our brother. Now, here's where more problems come in. Because we can say, okay, well, if I have to define what love is, and I define love as the Scripture says back in Vayikra, Leviticus, love your brother as yourself, love your neighbor as yourself, then if I can't go along with what love is, then I can try to redefine, well, who's my brother, who's my neighbor.
Oh,
and
say that again now.
If we can't come to an agreement, like once we define what love is, and see that it's showing the heart of Yahweh, then we have to redefine, well, then who is my brother? Because we don't like looking around us and seeing those around us and saying, you mean them? I don't want to have to love them, And we have to look at ourselves in that too. Yahweh loved us, and Yeshua came because He loved us. But how does that translate into working with another? When Scripture says to love one another, love is very abstract in our thinking because it means something different to everybody. I mean, there's books written on it, right? The love languages and everything else. And everyone receives or perceives love as different. But when Yahweh says love your neighbor as yourself, literally in the Hebrew it says love toward your neighbor as yourself. Love toward your brother as yourself. Which means there's an action involved to it. Now we have to be involved in each other's lives to help lift each other up, to show the heart of the Father to one another. It kind of puts us in a responsible place where now we're accountable to, like Yeshua was saying. You know, Yeshua didn't come to do away with the Torah, but he came to show us that it is a higher standard than what we're. It's not just what you do, but it's the heart behind what you do. And
Right.
These two have to go together for us to be able to show love. And because we're removing ourselves from the Word, we're not seeing how to do that. I mean, think about how much of the Word can we really truly walk in? You know, we say, well, we strive to walk in the Torah or according to the Torah, but how much of that can we really do if we're not around each other? When so much of the Torah talks about relationships and how we live with one another in those relationships.
Right.
So we've got to be around each other to show that. What do you think?
I'm just thinking that there are people that would say, well, if I'm in one of the tribes way up north, I just hope those folks are in one of them tribes way down south.
It's got to be north. It's got to be north and south with you, doesn't it?
Well, east and west. Okay. All right. If I'm over here next to the Yarden, I hope they're over there next to the Mediterranean Sea. At least there'll be a mountain range between us. I don't think that the Torah expects expects us to get along with everybody perfectly. Obviously, there are personalities that don't mesh well. There are going to be people that we really enjoy being around, and there are going to be other people that's like, not my favorite style of person. I don't hate them. I don't wish them any ill will. I'm not going to oppose them. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm not looking to try to one up them. It's just that style of personality gets on my nerves for some reason, and it bugs me. Well, you know, no one says that you've got to have these folks over for Shabbat dinner every week. And, you know, if we're going to be honest, there are certain folks that we would prefer to hang out with because, well, we get along well. We have common interests. We have very similar viewpoints. We enjoy doing certain things together. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Love does not mean necessarily that I've got a warm, fuzzy feeling every time that I'm around you. Love could be expressed as I have a concern for your well-being. I'm here to help you if you're in need. I will intercede for you if I can't get to you. I will promote an opportunity for you if it will help you. Love is action. You know, what have you done for me lately is the mindset sometimes. And you know, if we tell our spouses, hey, I love you, and that's all the love they ever get from us is a word. At some point, it's like, I appreciate you love me, but can you pick up your dirty clothes out of the floor? Or how about making me a sandwich? Well, there has to be some demonstration somewhere that authenticates the idea that you love someone. In our Western mindset, we do oftentimes translate love as an emotional response. And instead of love being an emotional response, is it not more that love should be a learned behavior?
Well, a decision of commitment that has to grow and be nurtured. It has to be something, I mean, If it's always just like this warm fuzzy, the warm fuzzies come and go day by day by day by day by day. You can't live by just an emotional roller coaster. There has to be an issue of covenant involved in this as well.
Okay, so the young couple that has just walked down the aisle together and they've had their wedding ceremony and they have this very idealistic understanding of what their new married life is going to be. It's going to be everything that our courtship was at a different level, and we're going to wake up and play house every day, and it's just going to be wonderful. After the first year, and they've had some disagreements, they've had to learn to get along together, they've had to deal with each other's stuff a few times or more. You realize then that it is getting through adversity and overcoming obstacles and learning to prefer the other one more than yourself. The building of a relationship that is love. Laura and I will be married next month, 38 years. That's a long, long time. 38 years of learning that my way is not necessarily the way it's going to go. And I have to be okay that if we do things differently than I first prefer. We've endured trials. We've had oppositions. We've had to learn to stand together. We've raised children, and now we're involved in our grandchildren's lives. And each generation produces its own issues. David, that's love. When I look at my wife, I still get the warm fuzzies. I still have that emotional response, but I'm not using that as the barometer of whether I love her or not. The same should be true in the body of Messiah. I can't allow my heart to grow cold toward someone. If I fail to walk according to the Torah, according to covenant, realizing that we need to be here for each other and get each other through our issues and our oppositions and our struggles, if I can't do that, my heart's going to get cold.
Mm-hmm. I mean, after all, it's what Yeshua drew our attention to. This is how you're going to be known as my disciples, that you what?
Have love for one another.
Yeah, it's not about how much knowledge you have. I mean, knowledge is fine. We need knowledge, but we need wisdom and understanding to go with that. And all that together shows us relationship. And I think that's what we're missing, is we're no longer seeing each other as people who need Yahweh and people who are supposed to be drawn together, working together for the kingdom. It's now about, well, I know more than you, we're different. And that shouldn't be the emphasis, because Yahweh is trying to call us all back in to focus and center on Him. And when we do that, a lot of the other problems kind of seem to go away. Not all of them, but a lot of them kind of seem to not become so important anymore.
Well, maybe we should say then that the Torah reorients us away from focusing on ourselves to caring for each other.
I think that would be a good way to put it. Yeah.
And that way, you prefer your brother. You're looking out for someone else. At the same time, you're understanding they're going to look out for you. We care for each other more than we care for ourselves.
Yeshua says, no greater love is any man than this, that he lay down his life for his friends. Are we willing to do that? Are we willing to live the way that he's called us to live? And that means laying our lives down to do that. Shaul said it, didn't he? I die daily.
Well, boy, let's end on an encouraging note there, David.
Well, see, because then that brings resurrection daily too, right?
It does. You're right. You're right. So take us out then, Dave.
All right. Well, we'd love to hear your questions, comments, concerns, and just enjoy your feedback, guys. So get in touch with us at reunionroadmap@b'nai yosef na.com. Shalom.
Shalom.